I'm still shaking as I write this. My parents sold my studio while I was at work. Not one piece. All of it. Every mic, every light, every cable, every piece of equipment I spent 3 years saving up for, gone. Sold to some guy I barely know, for $800. That setup was worth over $6,000. I came home on a Tuesday afternoon, walked into the garage, and stopped cold. Empty. I stood there for a full minute, just staring. I walked back outside, checked the address like an idiot, walked back in. Still empty. I called my mom. No answer. Called my dad. He picked up on the second ring and said 4 words. Come inside. Sit down. My brother was already at the kitchen table when I walked in. He couldn't look at me. That's when I knew it was bad. My dad started talking. His voice was calm, like he was explaining something obvious. My brother's startup was in trouble. His investors pulled out last minute. They needed emergency cash and they needed it fast. They looked around the house and decided my studio was the quickest thing to sell. So they sold it. No call. No text. No warning. They just waited for me to come home and find out on my own. I looked at my dad and asked him one question. Did you even think about calling me first? He looked me straight in the eye and said, We knew you'd say no. I got up and walked to my room. I couldn't sit there anymore. I couldn't look at any of them. I sat on the floor with my back against the bed and just stared at the wall. Not crying. Just completely hollow. The same way that garage felt. That studio wasn't just equipment to me. I skipped vacations for it. I worked doubles for it. I ate the same meals for weeks straight because I was saving every dollar. I built that space from nothing because I had a dream and I was willing to sacrifice for it. And in one afternoon, without a single conversation, it was gone. My brother knocked on my door an hour later. He came in and sat on the floor next to me. Didn't say anything for a while. Then he said, I didn't know they were going to do it. I swear I didn't know. I didn't respond. He sat there for another few minutes and then left. I believed him. That almost made it worse. Because it meant my parents made that decision completely alone, and they were okay with it. Here's where everything shifted though. I'm the kind of person who documents everything. Every piece of equipment in that studio was registered in my name. I had receipts, serial numbers, warranty cards, insurance documents. All of it saved in a folder because I had the setup insured 2 years ago under my personal policy. That equipment was legally mine. Which meant my parents had just sold property that didn't belong to them. I texted my cousin that night. She passed the bar 8 months ago. I sent her everything, the insurance documents, the receipts, photos of the equipment, all of it. She called me back in 20 minutes. This is straightforward, she said. That sale has no legal standing without your signature. The buyer has your property. You have documentation proving ownership. This can be reversed. I asked her what that actually meant in practical terms. She said, it means you have options. Real ones. The next morning I came downstairs and my mom had made breakfast like nothing happened. Eggs, toast, orange juice on the table. She smiled at me when I walked in. I poured myself a coffee, looked at her, and said, I spoke to an attorney last night. The smile disappeared. My dad walked in from the hallway and stopped when he heard me. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I just told them calmly what my cousin had explained, that the sale wasn't legal, that I had documentation proving ownership of every item, and that I had options. My dad sat down slowly. My mom said, We're your parents. You're really going to take this that far? And I said, You sold something that wasn't yours to sell. I didn't make this a legal situation. You did. Nobody said anything after that. My brother ended up contacting the buyer himself. Explained the situation. The guy, to his credit, agreed to return everything once he understood the ownership documentation. He wasn't trying to keep stolen property. He just didn't know. It took 2 weeks, but I got my studio back. Every piece. My relationship with my parents is still something I'm working through. We talk, but things are different now. There's a distance that wasn't there before, and I don't know how long it takes to close that kind of gap, or if it fully closes at all. My brother apologized properly. We're okay. But here's what I want to say to anyone reading this. Moral of the story. Document everything you own. Not because you expect betrayal, but because life is unpredictable and the people closest to you are not always thinking about your interests, even when they love you. And know your worth. Not just financially. Your dreams, your sacrifices, the things you built with your own hands, they deserve to be protected. Love your family. But never let love be used as a reason to accept something that is simply wrong. I built that studio alone. And I got it back alone. That taught me more about myself than 3 years of building it ever did. If someone in your life needs to read this, share it with them right now. Red heart. Now tell me in the comments. Backhand index pointing down. If this happened to you, what would you do? Would you take legal action or let it go for the sake of family? Backhand index pointing down. How is your relationship with your parents? Are they the type who would ever cross a line like this? Backhand index pointing down. And where are you watching this from? Drop your city or country below. I want to know who's out there reading my story. Globe showing Europe, Africa.